Hey, how's it going? I'm Rob, your congenial host, and this is Black Label Miniatures. This week we're working on some Imperial Shoretroopers from Star Wars Legion by Fantasy Flight Games, and thank the maker. No, not George, the maker. These guys are not white. The thought of painting another white Stormtrooper just gives me nightmares. If you were to paint or come up with a scheme for Stormtroopers, what would your color scheme be? Let me know below. And here we go, guys. We're going to be painting up some Shoretroopers. Now, for these two guys with the tailcoats, it might be slightly easier to do final assembly after you paint them, so as not to worry about spilling the color into the wrong spots. Now, after assembling and priming these guys with a gray and white primer, let's get going. For all the plastoid pieces, we want to do a nice beach tone style color, I guess you could call it. And for that, I used a Vallejo model color beige. Now, since we did a white highlight from above, this should go on pretty smooth, but it still might take a couple of coats to get decent proper coverage. And using some Vallejo model color black, this is as good time as any to color the gloves, the weapons, and the elbow pieces. If you make a mistake here, just be quick, rinse your brush off with, get most of the moisture out of it, and just use it to wipe away the black. It might take a couple tries, but also when you're done, make sure you soak up all the water that's left over on the miniature. For the pants and the boots, if you so desire, you can paint these colors in a Vallejo model or black brown. Now, normally, I guess you'd want to paint the boots in black, but I chose to do a darker brown. I thought that color would mix better with the color of the armor. Now, using a mid-tone brown color, such as Vallejo model color Flat Brown, color their belt straps. You don't want to color the ammo boxes and the other bits and stuff with this color that's on their belts, just the belts. Now, after we let that brown dry for a minute, let's grab some Army Painter Light Tone. And we're going to thin this down a little bit with some water and shade all the plastoid areas. The pants really don't need to be shaded unless if you want to. The problem here is that you don't want to really push this color any darker than it already is. Now, after letting the shade dry for a bit, maybe about 30 minutes or so, let's come back with some beige and start cleaning these dudes up. Any areas that you feel that need it, go back in, highlight all the flat sections, any top raised areas. Some spots you may want to go over a couple times to really brighten them back up. And when you're done with that, add a little bit of white to the beige and come back in and do some lining. Then grab your flat brown again, and any areas on the belts that you think maybe you want a little bit too heavy, go back in, hit those again with the flat brown. You may or may not want to do it. You probably don't even need to do it, honestly, but I felt that I needed to clean a couple spots back up. Back to the pants, using some Camo medium brown and some Camo pale brown, add some quick highlights to the pants. Give it a couple layers, then add in the Camo pale brown to the medium brown and give it just a slightly more highlight or higher highlight here until you're happy with the outcome. Just remember, don't go too crazy here. We don't want the pants to come off as being white. Now, all the Shoretroopers have the exact same little red badge on their right biceps. Feel free to use any red shade you want here. Like I said myself, I just used a little Vallejo Model Air Flat Red, and it's going to be the area that's right below their shoulder pauldron and to their elbows. Now for the leaders of the group, I guess you could say that there's like a a sergeant and his backup little dude. For the warband here, use some UK Prussian Blue to base his chest and the left shoulder pieces, and then use a little bit of Azure Blue to come back and highlight these sections. Our sergeant here will also have a yellow stripe on his left forearm below a blue stripe. All the other troopers in the group here will have between 1 and 3 yellow dots on their red badges for rank insignias. For black areas, like the guns and boots, or just any metallic areas, I've been wanting to do something a little bit different in my videos instead of just the normal Model Air steel or some sort of light gray. And somebody suggested to me to try out a gray that has some blue tones in it. So for that, I used a Vallejo Model Color Intermediate Blue. It has just enough gray in it for it to be too bright and overpower the rest of the model. I'm still not quite sure if I like the outcome, but it definitely looked different. Now, after doing our bases in a manner that matches the army, remember to seal your troopers in a matte varnish for protection and to help tie all the colors together better and get rid of any shine they got going on. So here we are, the Star Wars Legion Imperial Shoretroopers. These guys are pretty quick to paint. I probably spent about 30-45 minutes on each one of them. Nothing too bad, just I wanted to get them to a decent tabletop standard really fast because I was trying to use them in a tournament. Normally I would try and spend a little bit more time on them and make them look a lot better. But you know what? They looked great on the table fighting beside those Imperial Death Troopers. Now down below you will find a list of all the paints I used in this video, as well as links to my PayPal and my Patreon. If you like my content and you want to see me continue making them, consider helping support. Now remember to like, subscribe, and share to help my channel grow. Is there something you would like to see? Let me know down below. And remember to paint something, and I'll see you guys next time.